guys, so I wanted to make this quick video for you guys about beating the bigger competitor. And this is a pretty cool thing, because most people think, if you ask them, how is it that I can succeed in a marketplace where I'm going up against somebody who has clout and reputation in the industry? How is it that I could possibly succeed when I don't even have a high school education, or I don't even have a college degree or a network or anything? Well, you take a look at a case like Bill Gates or Sam Walton, Walmart. But we could talk about Bill Gates real quick. Bill Gates was he was in Harvard, and he was reading an article about the Altair computer. And if you're familiar with the story of Bill Gates, what he wound up doing was he wound up literally pitching these people that you guys don't need, you guys are going to need software for this, and I can build it for you. And keep in mind, he's just a college student. He'd never written code for a computer or anything like that. But what he had was he had this ultimate resource. How do people get resources when they don't have them? It's called resourcefulness. And the ultimate resource for anybody is human emotion. Resourcefulness, human emotion. People get inspired by passionate people and driven people. And Bill Gates, very, very passionate person. He believed so much in his own vision that he was able to persuade and influence a big group of corporate people over at Altair Computers that he had the software for them. And then he went on to buy MS-DOS and buy Microsoft Windows software, actually from Apple, later on, which wound up being the thing that made him financially independent and super, super wealthy. And then you hear about a case like Walmart, where Walmart, they were being completely dominated by Kmart, and all the people, all the forecasters and all the pundits on TV were saying, sell your shares of Walmart because there's really no market for them. The marketplace of a cheap supermarket is he pretty much has saturated that industry. They were saying there's no way that you should hold on to this. The value of this company is not going to go up. Sam Walton, what did he do? He was so passionate, he was so fired up about his idea that what he did was he strategically innovated, and then he motivated his people with his own emotion to get excited about his new prospect. And they went on to completely re-engineer the entire business scape of that industry. The same thing is true with you, and the same thing is true with anybody who is successful. They put themselves on fire. They put themselves into a state where they're extremely hungry, extremely motivated, passionate, and sold on their idea or service. You got to get sold. You got to go 100% in. That's really the only way. And the challenge is, for most entrepreneurs, is that they can have success once, but to keep it up as the market shifts, the thing that people don't seem to get about business is that where you start in this day and age in 2018 is not going to be where you end up. And I would strongly encourage you guys to develop the core understandings and fundamentals of business before, if you have something good going for you, still understand the core fundamentals of business and keep yourself fired up, keep yourself hungry, because the market can change. Shit happens all the time, and it's not to say that you're not safe. Things are better than they've ever been, but at the same time, you've got to keep that resource stoked. You've got to keep that internal flame going, because when you don't, that's where your business dies. It's the same thing with anything. When you lose that drive, that hunger, that passion, you're good. When you lose that drive, that passion, that hunger, that's where you lose. Things die. You have to remember why you're in business. You have to remember what motivates you to be in business. You have to remember why you started this shit in the first place. And when you do, that's when you're going to start to have these breakthroughs, and you can get to the next level. And the truth is that if you're staying where you're at, it's just a universal law. What grows is alive, and what stays the same dies. If you're green, you're growing. If you're ripe, you're rotten. So stoke that internal flame, keep that hunger alive, and remember, The resources are not the problem. The time, the money, the education. You can persuade people to help you. You can get the money. You can get people who know how to do whatever, marketing, sales, management. You can get people who know to help you. But you have to have that passion, because most people don't have it. So if you're passionate about what you're doing, you can inspire people, you can motivate and influence them, and you can get any resource that you need by simply being hungry and driven. That's the ultimate resource, resourcefulness. And by the way, that's a lot of this is from Tony Robbins. I'm not trying to say this is an original idea, but this is something that anybody who's successful will tell you is definitely true.